Hello and welcome to another episode of Choose CHQ Live CHQ, a monthly program brought to you by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency and the Chautauqua County Partnership for Economic Growth. I'm your host, Jason Sample. Each month we focus on different economic development initiatives and efforts that are happening in Chautauqua County to help keep things moving forward. This episode we're going to be talking about professional development groups and professional networking groups. We have joining us in the studio both Monica Simpson from the Chautauqua County Partnership for Economic Growth as well as the Chautauqua County Professionals Group. And we have Dan Siracuse from the United Way of Chautauqua County, along with being a member of the Jamestown Young Professionals. So Monica and Dan, thanks for taking time out and talking with us today.
Thanks for having us here.
Yeah, happy to have you here. And again, we wanted to bring you into the studio and just talk a little bit about the effort that is underway to connect professionals from not just Jamestown or Dunkirk or one specific community, but all across Chautauqua County and bring them together so they can network, meet one another, and find ways to create relationships that can really benefit their effort to be a professional here in Chautauqua County. Maybe a good place to start, though, before we get into the details of each of your respective groups, is just talk a little bit about yourself. Monica, you were on our program earlier this year. Of course, I work with you for the Partnership for Economic Growth as well. I think a lot of folks know who you are, but again, what specifically do you do with the partnership as well as with the professionals group?
So my history about that is that I've been doing economic development for 14 years. I've been with the partnership for 6 years, and I love what I do. And the CHQ Professionals, we started in 2016, so I can't believe it's been 10 years, but I co-founded the group when a year after I moved here. We felt like there was a lot of new professionals, a lot of young people that have moved to the North County specifically, and I saw a need for them to, waited for them to connect.
So you founded the CHQ Professionals Group, and It's been going on for how long again?
10 years.
10 years.
I realized that this morning. So,
right.
Yeah.
And so it was brought into the fold of the Partnership for Economic Growth about 2 years ago now?
2024, yep. Yeah, we started out as Northern Chautauqua Young Professionals, and we rebranded in 2024, and we talked to JYP first, Jamestown Young Professionals, and we went with CHQ Professionals. We take people at all ages and stages of their professionals, and we work together a lot with JYP, which is a great partner, and we host lots of cool events.
All right. So Dan, you're with the United Ways of Chautauqua County. Let's talk a little bit, first of all, what you do at the United Way, and then how is it that you got involved with the Jamestown Young Professionals Group?
Definitely. So I've been here just a little over 2 years. When I joined United Way, it was before we had merged. So at the time I was working for United Way of Northern Chautauqua County. Then about a year later, we went through this big merger. So then it became United Ways of Chautauqua County. And then finally, where we're at now is United Way of Chautauqua County. So my role there is Community Relations Coordinator, specifically for North County. As we went through and navigated this whole merger, we realized we needed some presence in North County, really to build relationships and just try and, show the public that we're out there and we're here. That's the meat and potatoes of what I do. In addition to that, I do a lot of different events, and I'm out in the community as much as possible, both in and out of work. With United Way, it's a big part of my job, of course, but then in addition to that, I'm a local musician, I'm a local content creator, so I really am out in the community, which really lended itself nicely to having me sort of step into this role of, being the JYP point person. JYP is housed under the United Way, and after I had sort of gotten my bearings, I had a conversation with my employer, and we kind of just figured this is a good fit. So I took over JYP maybe around last January, I want to say it was, and it's just been a really successful new adventure, and I've gotten to meet a lot of great people, and we're still growing.
So the Jamestown Young Professionals Group has been around for quite a while as well, but it only recently was taken under the fold with the United Way, similar to what the CHQ Professionals Group did with the partnership, right?
Yeah, so it's gone through some different phases, and I think where we're at now is we've got a really good leadership team within the United Way that is sort of navigating things and taking JYP into the next phase. We've got a wonderful planning team, and they're very engaged and involved, and they really help us. We couldn't do the events without them really each taking on an event.
So the big question, of course, is young professionals. Is that a misnomer? What qualifies as a young professional, and is it more inclusive than what the title may indicate?
That is true. I think it's, when you hear the word young, a lot of times people's first thought is, well, that's not for me. But in reality, that's not the case, because our events may be more so catered to a younger demographic per se, but we find that there's something for everybody. So when we host JYP events, we meet with our planning team, and it's really them that get the chance to come up with the events. It's all planning team based, and we just sort of help navigate it. And the great thing about that is we're hearing from the young professionals in Jamestown directly, and they're telling us what they want to do, and then they're the ones that are basically making those events happen. So for example, this month we're doing pickleball. You don't have to be young to play pickleball. And in fact, I know a lot of people that are, in the older demographic that can probably whoop my butt at pickleball. So while the events maybe are more so catered to trying to get a younger audience in, they're for absolutely everybody. We did an event called Elevate last year, which was a more of a formal gala. We had people all the way up to the age of 80 attend that event. And the beauty of why we do it is because you might think it's not for you, but then you show up and you find that you've got a place. And obviously with Monica and myself, we've partnered on various events before. There's a lot of overlap and a lot of overlay, and there's a place for everybody between our two groups.
Monica, let's talk a little bit about some of the events and activities that your group is involved with, the CHQ Professionals group. What typically does a year or any given season of the year entail when somebody wants to participate with the young professionals, the CHQ Professionals?
CHQ Professionals, yeah. So I think we found our sweet spot with coffee meetups. So we had one this morning. I love it because it stirs a lot of different ideas. So we have those every month, usually on the first Thursday of the month. We also have educational workshops, so we usually partner with JYP, or they invade our events, which we love that too. We're going to do a conflict resolution workshop in November. We've done marketing, HR compliance, many different topics, and those are also driven by our great planning committee. And we partner, my favorite event is we do Literacy Week with United Way. This year, we read to 1,815 children, 75 volunteers were engaged, and we read at 10 different schools in 7 different school districts. So did I get all those numbers right?
You got them all down.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
That's one of my favorite events because all those children go home with a book, and we started in the North County, but now we're creeping towards the South County.
We're working on it.
Yeah, we're getting all the way down to Sinclairville now. Also, we have our Christmas fundraiser, holiday fundraiser. We do a Toys for Tots. It's at Jingle at the Rocks, but we're going to have to come up with a new name because a bar and restaurant has a new name this year. But all proceeds go to Toys for Tots. We usually raise over like 150 toys, and over $2,000 go directly. So every single dollar goes to them, and we usually get about 100 people. I think that's how I first met Dan.
That's the first time I talked to you. Was at that event.
Yeah, and we have an ugly sweater contest. We'll have hot appetizers. You bring an unwrapped toy or bring payment to get in, and it's a good time. We have an ugly sweater contest is one of my favorite things that we do. Basket raffles. So it's a great way for us to get connected with organizations like Dunkirk Fredonia Rotary and Embrace Fredonia. So we really work together to host an array of events based off of what our community wants.
Right on. So just to make sure I have it straight, there's no cost to be a member of either group. If you want to attend certain events, there might be a cost associated with it just to help cover any dinner or meals or what have you. But if I wanted to join either one of the groups or both of the groups, I would not have to. There's really no formal membership either, right? It's just show up and network. That's really the whole point.
Yeah,
that's correct. So, for us, we have very generously been given a large sponsorship by Southern Chautauqua Federal Credit Union, which we're so grateful for. And in that sponsorship, what it's enabled us to do is not have to have events for the purpose of making money. It's the purpose of networking. So every so often we'll have an event that's maybe a $5 entry or something like that, depending on what the programming is. But we're in a good situation where JYP isn't out to make money necessarily. We're out to make connections and make new networking possibilities for people. So we're so grateful to the Southern Chautauqua Credit Union for believing in us, really. They've given us a sponsorship over the next 3 years, so they see what we're doing and they believe in it, and I think it's been paying off because our events have been very well attended, and we're so grateful for it. And so to that tune, yes, you do not need to pay to become a member. All it is simply showing up. If you see something that you're interested in, or even something that you maybe aren't interested in, put yourself out of your comfort zone. We're always, every month is a different event. Sometimes we do finance events. Other times, I mentioned pickleball. Sometimes we do, networking events. Like we'll do bar meetups and trivia, things like that. We're always doing something different. So even if you don't think it's for you, it might be.
Excellent. Well, we're going to take a break, but I've got more questions to learn about networking groups in Chautauqua County, both the Jamestown Young Professionals and the CHQ Professionals group. So Dan and Monica, stick around. We're going to have more questions, but first, let's take a break. On the other side, more about professional networking in Chautauqua County, right here on Choose CHQ, Live CHQ. Sample, your host. We're talking with both Monica Simpson as well as Dan Siracuse from the CHQ Professionals Group and the Jamestown Young Professionals, respectively. Thank you both again for taking time out to talk about professional networking in Chautauqua County. Let's continue our conversation. So why is it important? I guess the question is, maybe not every county or every community has a professional networking group. Why do we think it's important to establish something like this here in Chautauqua County and not have just one, but actually two different ones?
I think, especially in the North County, it's very dispersed, and I live in a rural area. I have cows and cornfields for neighbors, so I'm not really going to meet people that way, and so I feel like we need to connect with the people in our communities and weave them into the fabric, because they're not going to stay if they don't feel connected. And I felt culture shock when I moved here, and I know other people have. So we could talk about it, work through it, and then find really your niche, find your people, find that connection that makes you feel like you want to stay here, I think is most important. So I feel like we're the connectors and collaborators of Chautauqua County.
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback off of that, I think people in general are just looking for a sense of community, especially nowadays. It's kind of hard to find. It's kind of a rare thing. And I think Chautauqua County is something that has stood out. I've lived out of state before, but nothing is like here. So I think people are just longing for that sense of community. And, having a monthly event, whether it's, CHQ doing their coffee meetups or us doing our pickleball or whatever the event is that month, they're all accessible. I think that's the big takeaway, is that it's really easy to get involved, and it's something that there's a need for. When you see a need in your community and you're proud of where you live, you want to take action and you want to help solidify that need. So I think that's kind of really why both of our groups exist and why we're both feeling super grateful these days. I know we talk a lot off camera about how great we feel about the impact and the amount of people that have really participated with our groups.
I think Monica brought up a good point too, whereas somebody who's local, who was raised here, grew up here, I'm very familiar with Chautauqua County, or at least the areas I grew up in, but if you're somebody who got hired by a local manufacturer as the plant assistant manager or something like that, you might not know anything there is to do in Chautauqua County. And how do you make that connection? How do you learn about that? Having these two groups in place seems like it's really a good answer and a solution to assisting our newbies, right? And keeping them here once they arrive here. How does a group like CHQ Professionals and Jamestown Young Professionals help introduce members to local businesses, nonprofits, civic organizations, and leadership opportunities? Is there a coordinated effort to bring in representatives from those various sectors to these professionals?
I think so. Like both of our events, we have people from every different sector, and then we partner with the CHQ Chamber, with United Way, with Rotary to provide these events so that we get connected with those people. But then there might be opportunities for volunteering or boardsmanship or different ways just to connect with the movers and shakers that maybe need some help. We show up for each other too. I think that's a big thing. Like I come to his events, he comes to my events. We all work together, and I think us event people all meet once a year just to make sure we're not duplicating, that we're not working in silos, that we're really collaborating and working together and all rowing in the right direction, same direction.
Right on. Anything to add, Dan?
Yeah, with JYP, we are very intentional about the businesses and the places that we partner with. In fact, in June, we did our event was a small business crawl. So we did it last year, and the planning team liked it so much, and the people that came, that there was a need and a big desire to do it again. So we did it again this year, and it was just a chance to walk around downtown Jamestown and highlight some local businesses and some local entrepreneurs. So it's something that the planning team is really passionate about. This is their community and they're proud of it, and they want to highlight the businesses that they support. And that also means putting it out on social media and finding a new audience for that. So we always try to bring in businesses, and we always try to really give back to the places that have given so much to us.
Mm-hmm.
So believe it or not, I'm somewhat of a wallflower, and I'm more introverted than extroverted. Jobs like this I like because it's scripted and I can just move right along and get on with my day afterward. But people like me who may be new to the area, not exactly totally outgoing. Have you found that they kind of come out of their shell when they attend these events? And what's the selling point to get them to attend these events so they can feel comfortable and come out of their shell?
I think it's, it's free, it's low barrier to entry, it's fun, and we do try to get people out of their shell, and sometimes making connections, because maybe there's someone else that's just like you that has the same kind of challenges, and okay, then we can go together. We encourage people to bring a friend to an event, but I think it's really important to get out of your shell, maybe try something new. We have people that have very unique talents and interests, so we try to connect them with people that are similar to them, but also, hey, why don't you try to go paddleboarding, or try a new sport, go play pickleball.
I found, anything to add to that, Dan?
Well, with our events, our planning team we're really lucky that we have a group of really talented people that do various different things. We've got people that are craft cocktail enthusiasts, we've got people that are artists, we've got dancers, we've got all these different people that have these different loves. And it's funny because so many of our events, each one of the planning members sort of takes ownership of their respective events, so they're getting their community involved too. And we did a clay making event right over here at
Pearl City Clay House,
exactly. And we had like 20 people there, and I've never spun clay. I was an art minor in college, but I never spun clay, and it's not easy, let me tell you. But some people that have never done it before were amazing at it. So Monica said it earlier, there's something about getting yourself out of your comfort zone and finding out that you like something you didn't either know you'd like or didn't think you'd like. That's how it's been fun for people, especially for people not from this area. That we've had some new members that said, I just moved back, or I just moved from somewhere, and our events have been a good entry point for them to get involved with their community.
Right on. Well, I tell you what, let's take another break and then we'll wrap up the conversation. Again, we're talking with Dan Siracuse from the Jamestown Young Professionals and United Way, along with Monica Simpson, who is from the CHQ Professionals Group, as well as Chautauqua County Partnership for Economic Growth. I'm Jason Sample. I'll be back in just a moment to wrap up our conversation talking about professional networking here in Chautauqua County on our program Choose CHQ, Live CHQ. And welcome back to Choose CHQ, Live CHQ. Again, I'm Jason Sample, and we're talking about professional networking here in Chautauqua County. We have Dan Siracuse and Monica Simpson joining us from the Jamestown Young Professionals Group, as well as the CHQ Professionals Group, respectively. Again, thanks for taking time out and explaining what these groups are all about. Let's look forward a little bit. Obviously, already doing great things, connecting professionals from across Chautauqua County of all ages. Again, young professionals, a little bit of a misnomer because anybody's welcome. If you're a professional working in the area and you want to make connections, you're welcome to attend these events. Looking ahead though, is there anything long-term that you're hoping to accomplish, or something new that you would like to see happen within the next few years?
Yeah, I mean, for us, we just want to keep growing our membership. We want to keep giving the public events that they want. That's why we feel very lucky that every time we do an event, we send a survey out and we always ask, what do you want to see? And our planning team is so amazing at coming up with these brilliant ideas for what people want. So, as we I know it's hard we don't want to think about fall and winter already, but for planning purposes, we're both thinking long term. We're thinking into December. We've even started planning an event we've got in February coming. And I think the goal for us is just to be as prepared as possible and keep giving people events that they want.
Right on. Same with you, Monica?
Yeah, I think we support our partners, show up for their events, we show up for our events, and I think we just want to deepen those community connections. We had another new person come to our coffee meetup this morning, and these conversations I have this morning, we talked about workplace culture and innovation, we talked about AI, like all these conversations really fill my cup, and I want to continue doing that. I think we'll keep doing our monthly coffee meetups because they're getting more popular, and whatever else our team wants to do, but educational workshops, we share job opportunities, but really how people grow personally and professionally is really our long-term goal.
I think Dan brought up a good point too, is, looking in the off season. I mean, it's so busy in Chautauqua County, thankfully, wonderful place to live. If you're looking for something to do, somewhere in Chautauqua County, you'll always find something any given day of the week. Sometimes the events are a little less active in the colder months. There's still things to do. I'm an avid walker even in the wintertime. But all the same, having these events outside of summer when people are looking for something to do. There's not that calendar list of all kinds of activities. It's crucial to have that for professionals to get outside, get out of their workplace, maybe get out of their house for an hour and meet with people, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we even like, the summer's kind of our quiet season, just because we know that people are busy. You know, it's hard to make it to events. So we try to really fill fall, winter, and spring with as much substance as we can, because we want to give people the opportunity to meet new people and find out something new that they might want to do.
All right. So we've talked a lot about these professional groups. How can people learn more about them? Is there a website presence, social media? What do you want to do to make sure people are aware of your groups and can follow and keep track of all the different things you're doing?
For us, it's choosechq.org /CHQ Professionals, and you'll see our video. Dan's in that video too. It'll tell you about what we do. It has our mission statement, our upcoming events, and who's on our council. We're always looking for more people to join our council. So if you want to be the person deciding what events we're doing and what our topics are, we'd love to have more people be a part of that. But you'll also find all of our social media links. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and our email account. And you can also join our newsletter on CHQ Professionals.
All right, Dan.
Yep, and same with us. I mean, we've of course got Jamestown Young Professionals, Instagram, social media, Facebook, you name it. We've got that out there. We've also got a newsletter, so if you're interested in getting on our newsletter, send us your email. And, a reminder, we said at the beginning, but Jamestown Young Professionals is housed under United Way, so if you want to get any additional information, we also have some JYP info on the United Way website, and if you want to get information about United Way as well, that's where you can find it.
All right, we have about 30 seconds here. Complete this sentence. Professional connections matter in Chautauqua County because, Dan?
Me first, oh boy. Because people want to learn, people want to find their community. There you go.
Monica? Professional networking matters in Chautauqua County because?
People need to make connections and find their community.
It's right there in the title.
Yeah.
Professional connections matter. Need the connections. Awesome. Well, Dan, Monica, thank you so much for taking time out and talking with us. Is there anything else I overlooked that you wanted to add?
United Way, they have their Day of Caring, and we have a team. We're going to be at Wheel Lock on August 21st, and
That's right.
Live CHQ is co-sponsoring, so we'll be there for the kickoff event. If you want to join us, you can.
That's right. We're looking for as many volunteers as we can get, so August 21st, all day. Go to our United Way website, you can find out more info. Thanks for supporting us.
Well, Dan, Monica, pleasure talking with you as always. We'll be in touch, of course, and I want to thank our listeners for watching another episode as well. Again, this is Choose CHQ Live CHQ, brought to you by the County of Chautauqua Industrial Development Agency and the Chautauqua County Partnership for Economic Growth. Until next time, I'm Jason Sample.